Shut up.
Shut up.
The topic is, can God contradict the law of nature? What?
It's
No,
whether or
God
not
can
God
violate the
violates
laws.
the laws of logic. Right. So I believe I have an argument against that. So you want to clarify positions so I can get opening statements out of the way?
Can you repeat that?
And said, do you want to say your opening statements, or should I go first?
Okay, basically, my opening is that God cannot violate the laws of logic. Via, it would be his composition to be bounded by logic.
Yeah, sure. I can take my position. Yeah, I believe God can violate the laws of logic. There's Sensei in there who was plural. I don't know. I don't what to say. No. Sensei isn't anything what to say. It's just a side. It's like a server in the deep dark depths of the side tunnel. The only nigga here, I believe, is K. And K was he. Yeah. But anyways, give me a sec. All right, so. All right, so. No. How? Mother Nature. What'd you say?
I said
Anyways,
you sound sleepy.
so I am 11 o'clock and I'm being held hostage with my girlfriend. You can get off the way. Anyways, all right, so all I define logic as, or illogicality as, is simply just a lack of logic. You okay with that? MTF?
Wait. Logic is
Illogicality is simply just the lack of logic.
well, logicality is like logic. What do you mean by that?
Yes. Right, logic is present. Or like there's no reasoning behind it. Or yeah, there's no reasoning. I guess.
So there's no reasoning behind logic, is what you're saying?
Yes. No, there's no reasoning. Okay, nigga, listen. All logic is reasoning. If there's a lack of logic, then there's lack of reasoning.
Okay, yeah, I
That's it.
agree with that. So
All right,
that's why.
so Fabuki left.
Wait, so you're saying if God, I already agree with this because if you lack logic, then you lack reasoning. So are you saying that God lacks logic and reasoning?
Yeah, something along those lines. I'm not done yet. So with that, my question is, let's give an example. You know what an ontological parasite is, right?
Ontological status.
Parasite.
You mean?
Ontological parasite.
Oh,
I said
okay.
ontological parasite. Right, something that's contingent upon another existence. You good?
No, because you see, logic by definition, by its philosophical definition, it's not a thing that has a positive ontological status. So I don't agree with that.
No,
Do you know what's like a positive ontological status?
Oh, I just asked you a question. I asked you, do you know what an ontological parasite was? It's gonna lead into my point, but
Wait. An ontological premise?
no, an ontological parasite. I just said it's
Can you
hold on, give me a second. Yes.
MCU H.
Oh, okay. Ontological.
Harris.
Hold on.
Right. I just said let us. I already defined it to him, but I can say it again.
It's like it's something that exists in something else as a
Yes, it's some. Yes. I just said. Yes, I just said that. It's something that. It's something.
Whoa.
No. What
Yeah,
I'm,
what's going on
bro.
here? Yo, can you understand? Can some nigga actually provide some context? What the fuck happened here? And what is the topic, by the way?
Bro,
What's the topic?
Wilson, relax. It's It's if God can violate logic.
Oh, theology. Okay. Continue. Sorry I disturbed, I guess.
You got it.
Just
Anyways,
make yourself.
why does life keep going? But I say so. As I said before, an ontological parasite is simply just going to be something that is contingent upon another's existence, right? You okay with that?
So basically saying that it has a cause to exist because of something like that. Because
Not
causality
necessarily.
is something existence.
Yeah. Like, okay, like sorta. You gotta say sorta, but like the way you're like, it's fine. Just listen. I'll give you an example, okay? What's an example? Oh, right. So you have a wall, right? And there's a hole in the wall. If you punch a hole in the wall, that hole is contingent upon the wall. So if I were to, I don't know, like erase the wall from existence, then that hole would be erased as well because the hole is contingent upon the wall's existence. You get what I'm trying to say?
I mean, like, yeah, I guess so. Because that's by cause
Okay,
itself.
so
Wait a second. Wait
okay,
a
so
second.
with that, I will. Yeah.
Wait. Technically, if you put this into perspective, like I make a hole in my desk, and if I erase it, because mostly like if you put a hole in your desk, then that's what you would call it. You punched a hole through your desk. But if you just completely destroy your desk, it won't be considered a hole.
Oh my God, the
So,
hole. If you yes, because the hole is gone.
okay.
The hole goes away with the rest of the desk because the hole is contingent upon the desk's existence,
Okay, yeah,
right?
that's what we identify as the whole. How is this conjunction
Not
together?
necessary. Oh my God, right? So with that, uh, I just think that's how illogicality will work with logicality. I think illogicality is simply just understand, but to say I think illogicality is like contingent upon logicality's understanding or something around those lines. So you okay with that? You got any response?
I don't believe that correlates much to how logic
You,
works.
why not? Like give a response.
First off, by that analogy itself, like punching a hole through a wall and then it being gone with all that stuff, that's what you would identify. That's not something absolute.
What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness. Listen, if you punch a hole through a wall, right? Once you punch that hole, you would identify it as a whole because that's what we say, right? That's what we say. You're not identifying it as something that is an absolute. Because first off,
I'm
many
not
things
saying
can happen with that hole.
I'm saying that. I already gave an
If you're
example.
not, wait, if you're not bringing that, then if you're
I
not
don't
bringing
think you
that, then
understand the example. I don't think you understand the example I just gave, bro.
you can go ahead and justify
And but I
this.
said I can try and I can repeat it. If you want me to clarify more on it, then I can. But I think it's really simple to understand. You have a wall, right? You punch a hole
Uh-huh.
within that wall. Uh-huh. Okay. If you erase the wall's existence, then the hole is erased with it, right? Because
Yeah,
the hole is contingent upon the wall's existence, right? So
yeah,
that's why I'm saying, right? Like illogicality is contingent upon logicality, upon our understanding of logicality. So if we understand what logicality is, then we understand what illogicality is. Right? Right.
that's
You get what I'm trying to say?
what? No. Let me tell you something. It's something. Illogicality is like we say something ineffable. We study what something ineffable could be, but we're not studying
Check.
like the true form of something ineffable. For example, like since like I'll give this analogy. Since the fourth dimension is like beyond our comprehension, beyond what we can perceive, we can still study how the properties it would operate on. So we're still studying it. We're still studying something that is ineffable to us, but we're not studying its full true form on what it's known for. Its necessary being.
Right.
We're not studying that. We're just studying what we know on how it could operate. So that's what you could say. You could say it's illogical, but since something illogical or ineffable would be something beyond your comprehension, meaning it cannot be expressed through any other sort of language. You can't even call an illogical being or an ineffable being that is beyond your limits its comprehension, then you cannot even identify it as it being illogical or ineffable.
I'm right. Yeah, okay, so the reason why I disagree with that is because I don't care if we're not able to perceive or imagine a logicality or like the fourth dimension's like true form, whatever you described it as, right? But we're able to conceive it, as in we can make a general idea around it, right? That's what we just did with the logicality. We have a general idea around the same thing with 4D. We know that 4D is simply just going to be space. I'm not space. It's simply just going to be time, right? As a dimensional axis with a temporal, as three-dimensional axis with temporal axes going through it. That we're able to, we can't necessarily like imagine it or perceive it because we're 3D beings, but we can make a general idea around what it would be rather than what it can be. Right. It's the same thing with a logicality. We know that we can conceive that a logicality is simply just the lack of logicality and that it is contingent upon logicality's existence.
Okay.
But
So wait, I'm pretty sure that's what I just said. But you're trying to say that we can, defy or conceptualize illogicality or make a general idea of what illogicality could be.
what it is.
Okay, I have 2 points to say here, but I'll go with the first point. Conceptualizing and making the general idea of illogicality. And again, it's just a general idea, so it's something theoretical, it's not something absolute. Again, I will search up this definition. Something theoretical is concerned with or involving the theory of a subject. So basically, you could say in its truest form that this claim is true, but it wouldn't be justified, so it can just say it's an opinion or a belief. Opinions and beliefs are mostly conceived as, subjective, And again, about that conceptualizing logicality part, that would be in logical terms, something called paraconsistent logic. It's a way to reason about something inconsistent or an inconsistent information without lapsing into absurdity, and basically, basically inconsistency between paraconsistent logic explodes in the sense that if a contradiction obtains, then everything else obtains it too.
Say that last part again.
So
Repeat that second point. My
I
fault.
said
I wasn't listening.
I said inconsistency between what I said again about paraconsistent logic being a way, because the definition for paraconsistent logic is a way to reason about inconsistent information without lapsing into absurdity. So again, by this inconsistency in this sense means that if a contradiction obtains something, then everything else obtains it too. So that's
What are you talking
that's just abiding by what conceptualizing logicality could be. Again, I'll give this a fucking proposition point here. Give me a second.
No, I
I'll
just
have it.
I need you to clarify a bit because I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, it's called paraconsistent logic. As I already said
Like I
again.
understand that, but I understand about like your argument for it. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay,
Because the
like
first point,
oh,
gotta
it's
say the first
like
point,
something to reason about something inconsistent, like inconsistent
reason with
information,
something inconsistent.
without going into absurdity, right? You can reason about inconsistent information without going to absurdity. That's why I said inconsistency in this sense would be that if a contradiction obtains something, then everything else obtains it too.
Why is that the case?
Why is this the case? That's going by your definition of conceptualizing logicality.
Mm,
A way to reason about something inconsistent.
that is not what I define logicality as.
Then, then what are you making the general idea of a logicality as?
All I
That's not
said,
bad.
okay, look, if you're going too deep within it, bro. All I said was that logicality is the lack of reason or lack of logic. That's all I
Okay,
said.
yeah, okay, yeah,
I
the lack
gave
of
an
logic.
example.
In your last argument, you just gave the main argument of you saying you can make a general idea of what a logicality and an ineffability could be and how it could operate.
No, I didn't say anything about ineffability. I just simply I said a general idea, and you're able to conceive it, right? That's it. You keep saying that I'm making a general idea
The
of
reason,
what
the
it could,
reason,
of what it. Hold on, look. You said that I
okay,
can make a general idea of what it could be. I never said that. I'm making a general idea of what it can't. Not no. I'm making a general idea of what it is, what it will be. And I'm gonna say
it will be.
but that yes, I believe this is what I say. I believe that this is exactly what illogicality is. I'm not saying it could be this or it could be X, right?
Okay, wait. If you
And
can,
then
if you can make the idea of how this concept would operate and how it should operate, it wouldn't really make sense. Again, the main
Why
definition
not?
for illogicality is that it's a quality of something not being reasonable, as you said before. And this correlates to why I brought up ineffability, because with something lacking reasoning, then it would be incapable of being expressed or described in words, such as something inexpressible. So how can you, make the general idea of how something could operate if it's inexpressible? Because
Wait,
that's
hold on.
expressing something.
Wait, say that before you just said that last part. What'd you say? You said something about it can't be expressed in words.
Again, as I said again, this is why I brought up ineffability, because due to the definition we used about illogicality being the quality of something that is non-reasonable and has no reasoning, then it would relate to ineffability, which basically means incapable of being expressed or described in words, such as something being inexpressible. So how can you make the general idea or conceptualize the general idea
I
of
think,
how something would operate?
but I say I think we do it all the time by virtue of, but I say literally of the word or what how do I say this? Oh, matter of fact, I think we do all the time by virtue of what the lack of reason is, right? So how do I can give an example. Let me think. So for example, right? Let's see. Actually, let me get a. I'll just get an example offline. Like I don't know. I'll find some
Mm.
reason.
Okay, then go ahead.
Yeah, I got you. Boom, 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 boom. What is monotopical?
Who?
No, I was reading a message. My fault.
Yo, this shit be uploaded, bro. MTF, bro, you should upload this, bro. So I could like watch this later or like listen to this because
Sure,
no,
sure.
I don't.
It,
I'm
would- it
not in
would
the
have
mood to
been
listen to
it would have been
yapping.
better if I screen recorded, but my audio didn't even pick up.
Power, bro. Power's already here.
I know.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna head out now. Make sure you upload this. I could see this. Probably just wanna hear you niggas yapping on that video.
Give me a second. I think it's a bit late, but
Which left?
I
Oh
don't
no.
know.
Anyways, right. So what was the burn you put on me? You said
Huh?
MCF. You put a burn on me. It was something about reason. I forgot it.
But like the burden. Hold on. The burden I said was that since like by my definition of very consistent logic, by your definition, I was saying that illogicality is something that lacks reasoning. By here saying that it's in the quality of something non-reasonable, it will correlate to something, or it will correlate to ineffability, which basically means incapable of being expressed or describes in words, basically being inexpressible. So by this, I gave you the burden
Oh,
and asked you how, how can you form the general idea, or how can you conceptualize the general idea of something that can be inexpressible when that's really expressing how it would operate.
but okay. You can repeat that last few. I'll just like respond to the important shit. The rest of the shit you can repeat yourself or yeah. Anyway, so
Okay,
the
okay,
reason
I'll
why
just listen.
one, you can just repeat yourself after I respond. If you don't think I respond like adequately, then you can just conclude or you can clarify yourself. Anyways, right? So the reason why we can express these things in language is because one, just by virtue of what the word unreasonable and what reason entails or unreasonable, it's simply just like you can't uh how do I say this? Let me see. Like something that doesn't necessarily have an explanation for it, I guess, or something that doesn't have adequate justification behind it. For example, uh, all obese people should be crucified because they're, I don't know, fire benders, right? That's it. Obviously doesn't make any sense. But I say it doesn't make any sense. It's not
Right.
something that's reasonable, but you can give an argument against it, right? That's the thing. It's something that you can express within language. It's not necessarily ineffable. And yeah, I'll just respond with that. The
Okay,
rest
okay,
of the
okay,
things you
wait,
said, I
okay,
need you
wait,
to repeat
okay,
yourself.
wait. Before you like move on with like your argument, I just want to ask you: do you think conceptualizing uh correlates to language?
You said what?
Like, no, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think conceptualizing correlates to language? Like
What do you
language,
mean that?
like for example, like with language, you form the idea with words on how it would work and operate. So, do you believe it correlates to that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you believe that you need language to conceptualize.
I don't believe that you need language to conceptualize, but I think it correlates. I think like they're correlated, and in a sense where when we usually conceptualize something, we do it by language. But I don't believe that you need. I don't believe that you can only conceptualize something if and only if language is there. If that's what you're saying,
Okay, wait.
right?
So can you conceptualize something apophatic?
Can you conceptual? I believe you can conceive it. Yes,
Okay. Yeah, you can.
like because we know. About to
You
say
can.
we know
You can
what
conceive the
all
idea. Okay, go ahead.
yes. About to say so, but apophatic is something that's what is it? But I say it can't be described in positive terms or something like that.
Yeah, it can be described.
Right. Yeah, but we can but I say we can do it like what it means by negative terms of as in like a not, right? Like God is not human, correct?
Hmm.
Right. I believe I'm gonna say by virtue of that or but I say by virtue of what the definition of apophatic is, yeah, we could be able to conceive it. We know what would make up apophatic.
That's just a theory, and you're giving.
I
I
mean,
mean, you're
it can be a theory. It can be a theory, but if that theory is genuinely like, but I say theory is genuinely accepted to be the case. So
okay. Yeah, it could be the case, but if it's just like you can see the
no, I'm
idea.
not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's accepted to be the case.
No. I know that, but like, even if since apophatic means something that cannot be expressed again, same with like ineffability and shit. Basically means that if you're just making the theory on how to operate, again, that's just having the opinion or belief. You can look up an opinion and belief is mainly subjective, so it's
No,
not
I
just
agree with.
really.
I'm about to say I understand that, but I'm saying this. But I say this belief or opinion is it genuinely accepted throughout society, right? When you ask someone, I don't know, what the fuck apophatic means, and you tell them, and they agree, but it's not what. What to say, nigga? Who the fuck knows what apophatic means? If you ask someone, what like, what's a what's a topic that's not necessarily like trying to think. It's like, what the fuck? I can't say, but I say anyways. If you ask someone well, about a theory, like for example, the theory of relativity, that theory is genuinely accepted throughout society. That's why we take it to be true. Obviously, it's a possibility that it could be something else, but it's accepted within oh fuck within our minds or whatever the fuck. Forget what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry, I can't like. It's hard for me to explain certain things. I'm tired.
Okay then, I get your point.
All right, be responsible.
No, I get your point, but because I was like, because that's like you were trying to say like, oh, it completely has a main connection to language, but
Mm-mm.
but
No, I think it's
like,
dependent upon them. But I say, I think when it comes to conceiving things, it can be how I say this. It can be brought out through multiple means. Language is one of them. Then you have, but I say, I think it's dependent upon the mind. But we express that or represent it through language or other means.
Okay, so
Right.
So yeah, that was the main subject. You can like attack the like most of my argumentation now.
What was the rest?
I said this is just a subject because I asked the question, but you can attack most of my argument now.
Yeah, I'm like, what was the rest of your argument?
The rest of my argument.
Yeah, I don't
Hold
remember
on.
it.
Actually, give me a second, because I actually kind of forgot.
Oh, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
Give me a second.
We're so ass. This is horrible.
For real.
You could, but I say you could just give a new one if you want to. I don't mind. Or like I can,
Okay.
I'm gonna say I can try and clarify a bit more on my argument because I do remember some things you said, or at least one.
Okay, sure. Then.
I'm pretty sure you brought up like us not being able to like by virtue because you were bringing up ineffability and things not being able like us not being able to perceive it and like that's why you brought up the fourth dimension, right?
Yeah.
But I say I don't believe that imagination is limited to visual perception. First off,
I know
and I'm
that.
pretty sure that ties. But it's okay. So cool. So since imagination isn't I guess limited to visual perception, how I say this. What is imagination? Let me get the definition. Anyways, fuck. Right. So imagination is simply just the faculty of or action of forming new ideas or images or concepts of external objects not present to the senses, right? You okay with the definition? Right. So if conceiving something is inclusive to imagination and we can conceive what a logicality is, then I think that just goes along with my argument. Whatever the fuck. Um, is like
So the definition you brought up has quantities, right?
you should ask quantities.
No, like I'm just asking you. The definition you brought up has quantities, right?
Shit, probably. I don't know what that is.
Basically, like something estimated to have a
You're
measurement
cutting out.
on its main
You're cutting out.
composition.
You're cutting out. You cut out. Get out.
Something that had
So
something out. Give me a second.
you're good now. You're good now. No, you're good now. You're good now. You're good now.
Okay. Again, I said quantities basically are estimated on your main composition, immaterial or material.
What are you talking about?
I said something quantifiable or basically something with quantities is basically the amount of estimated measurement you have, whether you're material or
Oh,
immaterial, depending on your composition. That's what I'm trying to
oh,
say. So is it
okay. Yeah.
quantifiable?
Is the mind quantifiable or imagination?
Oh, I'm not. I'm trying to
What do
say
you like? What are you talking about?
like the definition of it's quantifiable.
Oh, probably.
Like by your definition. Okay, you believe.
I don't know.
So it's based in accordance with logic then, because something
But
quantifiable.
I said I don't. I said I don't know.
You said no, no.
Yes.
Okay. But if we were to propose that it was in quantities, then we can argue that it's rational, which is based in accordance with reason or logic. So it's still by logical
I
standpoint.
mean, I understand. I understand that. But I say, like the mind itself. Yeah, I believe the mind itself can be quantifiable, right? With logic. But I'm saying, us conceiving or the conception wouldn't be quantifiable.
What? Hold on.
What are we talking about?
Okay. I think we just fell off our point.
I mean, we didn't fall too. It's not too far off. It's just like the way, like the response you gave is kind of weird. Like
No.
I don't know, but yeah, I think the conception of a logicality isn't quantifiable. in a sense where it's at least to logic,
Oh, I understand.
or it isn't quantified to logic. Yeah, whatever the fuck.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and try and argue against this. So this
Okay.
is basically still between epistemology or a base form epistemological rationality, which involves concepts and conceptions. So I can say this: whether if something has good reason for what they do or belief, it will still be rational. If it is based on strong evidence, basically the quality can apply to an ability, as in something, as in something called a rational animal, and it's also on a psychological process like reasoning, mental states such as beliefs and intentions, etc. So again, by this would correlate to conceptions, which would still be on rationality. So if you were to give the conception of a logicality, which by definition basically means lacking reason or logic, then it would still be on a rational point, which is based in accordance with logic. So I don't believe you regarded it
I
as
just
being
I
left out.
just I just said that it's not quantified to logic, bro. And I
It's not
said
fun.
because it's not but it can have uh what you said quantifications or not quantification quantities. I said it can have it, but logic is simply going to be one of the things that it isn't quantified by virtue of what it's defined as, what are the definition we established, right? And
Okay,
the
wait.
reason for that is through imagination, right? If imagination is going to be everything that we can image or conceptualize of something external to how I say this, I guess it's something external to visual perception, then it wouldn't be quantified to that, right? You agree, but I say, fuck, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, you're gonna have to roll with it. Um, you would agree that our imagination is based off everything that we perceive, right?
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I
Malaysia,
I I believe that.
you are
I believe that.
okay.
But wait, okay.
Uh, wait.
Uh, like give me a second. About like it wouldn't be accordance with logic. That wouldn't make sense because to form a conception or ideas, you need information. You're good. I think you might have. But anyways, if he comes back, I'll just say my point.
We're talking, bro. Shit is so nerdy. It's like it's nerdy, but it's like retarded. Like
Yeah,
we're talking about God.
yeah, we were. Well, we were talking
Oh my
about God.
God.
Now we're talking about like now we're talking about other
Yeah,
shit.
but it's not like why is my cord frozen? Anyway, it's not like your average. This shit, bro, it's stupid. Give me like
Yeah,
15 minutes, please.
yeah. You know what? I'll just like go ahead with this with logic being the main composition of God. I'll just go with that argument because that was my argument from the
It's
start.
gonna get pretty good.
So basically, there's something called divine simplicity of
Anyways,
God.
hello? Did my shit freeze again? Oh wait,
Bro, what the fuck is happening?
can you repeat? Bro, I'm sorry, bro. Can you repeat yourself? I
Okay,
forgot I was in a call or something.
so basically, logic, by definition, I'm gonna go with divine simplicity, but logic by definition is something in accordance with reason or logic, as itself in the main study of thought, laws of thought, etc. And as I said again, like at the start of the debate, pretty sure remember I said logic would not be a thing that has a positive ontological status. Basically, by this, what I'm trying to say, it's a description of the functioning of natural existence, and basically, I can conjunction this to God's nature, right? Basically, thus by this, the laws of logic would be expressed through God's grounded rational nature, Same with
What are
how,
you talking
just like how moral laws are expressed through God's moral nature.
about? So are you saying that like the way you just said that was kind of weird. I mean, like,
Okay,
just
okay,
correct me if
I'll
I'm
repeat
wait,
it.
hold
I'll
on, wait,
repeat it.
wait, wait, wait.
Okay.
I'm not trying like just correct me if I'm wrong, okay? You're basically saying that logic or rationale is contingent upon God's existence, right?
Uh, no, I meant by like rational nature, such as because rationality it's based off of accordance with logic. So logic would be expressed through God's grounded in rational nature.
Through God's grounded in rational nature.
No, rational nature, just rational nature. That's it.
What do you mean by rational nature? Like, what do you mean by that?
Rational. What I mean by that is something like exists as end itself.
Oh, so
Like
like it
yeah,
like God is like God is God, ain't God equal God.
yeah, basically.
Wait. Okay, so are you saying by virtue of that, then he's contingent upon logic?
Yeah, it's logic is his main composition.
I don't
He's-
understand that. I'm about to say because once again, I'm about to say I can just go back to like the whole logicality thing,
Okay,
right?
okay, wait.
If
I'll
well,
like
hold on,
no, wait. I'll give a more
listen, no, I think I'm
fundamental.
gonna hold on. You can do it
Okay,
after.
okay.
Listen, what I say, you can do it after, but I think I don't like I'm like I agree that God would obviously equal God. But I can just give the same, like, I guess, argument I gave for a logicality or something similar around those lines. Right? A logicality will obviously equal, we're not, let me not say obviously, because I think it's possible that it cannot. But I think in some cases, a logicality can, like, something illogical can equal something illogical. But that can, like I said, I can obviously still be exclusive from, how I say this, the rationale, the rational nature of it.
Mhm. Okay. So
Bro, what am I talking
I'm gonna do it more depth.
about? Yeah,
Then
go ahead.
just go into why I said it's main composition. So again, by the study of logic, uh, right. So basically, logic being not just a study of correct reasoning, which is traditionally followed with things like, uh, you know, how we see things, how we visualize things, our main use of language, the concept of language itself, inductive, abductive, something according to deduction even. We can say this by its main definition. While it's something that we use to study not just those things I said before, but study the groundment of natural existence and the nature of existence. It's not something that will have a positive ontological status. As I said again, I'm gonna define what I mean by positive ontological status. Give me a second. Basically, what I mean by here is like some way a way that it would exist, but yeah, that's why, because if something has a positive ontological status, it would need a way to exist. But I can go by this argument, considering it is a fundamental concept, right, between the groundment of God, which is why I said it's not just something that is bounded to ontology. It's a description, as I said, of the functioning of a God's nature, which is why I said the laws of logic and all other formal systems of logic itself would be expressed
Oh,
through God's rational nature. And
okay.
it's the same way with how moral laws are expressed through God's moral nature.
I better say, I think I understand your point. I could just respond with, I'm about to say, why can't it just be the case that, but why can't it be, if you're saying that God needs to have some sort of grounded nature that's contingent upon something, it could just be the case that this grounded nature would be like logic, right?
That doesn't make sense at all.
Why not? It's the same.
Um,
Again, it's the same. It's the same shit as the whole analogy, bro. The whole analogy.
No, because
Say,
like no, no.
okay, you can respond.
Okay, basically, for natural existence or something to have a nature of existence, it doesn't make sense. It would need a composition. A composition is basically something's nature to exist, something's boundment. Such as if I'm like such as my composition is space and time. I cannot exist without space and time. That's what I meant. And it's something
Okay,
like, and since, as I said before, like a logicality would be through something, or like is something that is lack of reasoning. So something is lack of reasoning, then how can you have a composition if it's lack of reasoning?
but I don't think you need reasoning to have an existence. That's what you mean.
Okay,
But
okay, wait. Let's say
said
this. Let's say this.
composition.
Let's say this. If a character lacked reasoning and logic, which would correlate to the laws of logic, it wouldn't have an identity, nor would it be identical to itself, nor would it be to the boundment of the three laws of logic. Same with that nature of existence. For example, here, nature of existence, such as our external reality and something outside of our external reality, which is the immaterial reality. We call it something that is comprised of space, time, and consciousness. Well, consciousness would also correlate to outside of the external reality, but yeah, that's what it's mainly comprised of. So it's the same thing. Like if you just say it would lack reasoning, then by saying it would lack reasoning, it wouldn't make sense. It would be ineffable by definition, and if it was ineffable, it would be inexpressible, and it wouldn't have a composition, considering it would be inexpressible.
Oh no, bro. Okay, let me try and make what you said in normal nigga words, right? Uh, you just said that.
Mhm.
Um, fuck, I already forgot half the shit you said. You talk too much. Mm, nigga, bro, nigga, repeat yourself, but say it in a way where like, nigga, just put it inside limit terms. 'Cause
Okay.
nigga, you
So
talk too much.
existence, so natural existence is mainly comprised of a space, time, and consciousness. Well, by what we
Uh-huh.
know in our external reality, but consciousness can also be onto something outside of our external reality, considering consciousness by the mind, which most people define to be something that is non-physical or immaterial,
Yeah,
immaterial
yeah.
concept. Uh,
Okay.
Basically, by this, that is our main composition. And again, composition is by a main natural existence and something existence, for example, is a state because it's natural by definition. It's basically the fact of state or living or having an objective reality. So you can comprise this with a natural order, which would be natural existence. Therefore, this is comprised into a rational nature, and rational nature would be into accordance to logic. So like it cannot lack reasoning, because if it was rational it would still have accordance to logic, which would not make sense if it was lacking reasoning. Otherwise that groundment of nature wouldn't have any bound, nor would have a composition, nor would it have a rational exist, nor information
Okay.
could happen.
Yeah, that last bit. Repeat yourself after. So, um, what in response to the first part, when it comes to like what you define reality as, everything that is I guess composed of it, would you agree that I guess the composition of it's more, I'm getting into like I guess an example of a sort, right? Something like such as a concept, something abstract, right? Composition that would be it being aspatial, atemporal, non-physical, things of that nature, right?
Mhm.
Right. Those that can be summed up to atemporal, aspatial, simply just a lack of space and time,
Wait a second, wait a
right?
second. Are you talking about outside of the external reality?
Not. I'm just saying this is what makes up something abstract and something conceptual,
Oh, okay, okay.
right? If that is like yeah, because you brought up composition, something that like has a grounded nature, some basically like it's kind of like contingent upon it, right?
Hmm.
Something that and that's kind of like where I'm getting at with concepts and abstract things, right? Um they would be comprised of or grounded into the lack of but the lack of space and time, being non-physical and tangible, having these different identifying properties, correct?
Uh-huh.
You said what?
I said yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, okay. So, basically, that's kind of like where I'm trying to get with God, right? Um, with God, it's kind of like similar to how something abstract would work. It's not grounded. How I say this? It's not naturally grounded within the rationale. Yeah, but it's not necessarily grounded within rationale. That's why we say it lacks rationale, or it lacks logicality. Right. And what we do is what we do is we represent. I guess, yeah, but yeah, we can represent how this would be um through words, I guess. Yeah, through words and language. Same thing with concepts, like concepts, or like something such as I don't know, the concept of hope, right, can be
Yeah,
represented through language or physical means. Something illogical can be represented through language, right? That's why we
yeah,
have the word contradiction, and we have different statements, like for example, fiction, like shit like that. You
yeah,
know what I'm trying to say?
yeah.
Okay.
I think I have a PDF that can explain something. Real quick, give me a second. The PDF.
I'm just shit.
Give me a second.
So did you you do IRL now?
RL. Oh yeah, I do
Yeah.
RL.
Okay. Shit. It's like
Give
my
me a
second
second.
time doing it's my second time doing this debate, bro.
Damn, this is your second time doing RL?
Yeah, I don't do IRL, bro. I do crossfits.
uh, you're the best CV debater
Well,
I know.
I guess let us say you said what?
To be honest, you're the best CV debater I know.
Thanks, bro. But
No
I
problem.
mean, I guess I'm not too like unfamiliar with it because I watched debates and like, but I say I guess like, but I say I do debate on like I debate on God in a sense where like the properties he has, but when it generally comes to like IRL topics, I don't do it, bro. I'm not familiar with that. I have no experience with it at all.
Um,
It's just crazy.
by the way, you want to go inconclusive now? Because like no one is here. I think we can
Yeah,
just
no
get it
one's.
off the recording.
I just said yeah. If
Mm.
you want to upload it, you can. But it's not. I don't. But I said I don't know why I wants to watch this shit. It's gonna be boring as hell.
For real though.